Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for checking in. I'm Henry Haight. I'm an artist and I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and today I thought I'd go over the topic of finding your trajectory and path as an artist. This week I received two messages from fellow artists on social media in regards to trying to find their footing and how to market themselves, or is the work that they're doing any good? What are my pointers and tips? So that kind of gave me the incentive to make this for them. So Ben Miners, if you're watching this, and Harlan Munso, this one is for you guys. Much love. One thing about being an artist that I've learned is that nothing worth having permanently is easily gained. First and foremost, it is okay to virtually have doubt as an artist, to kind of figure out, is this working for me? All artists go through that. Finding your trajectory and your path to set you apart from other artists is a compelling topic all over YouTube and social media, because there are loads of people promising, hey, follow these simple rules and you too can make 150,000, and if you pay us, we'll let you know all this stuff. And buyer beware, because if it's too good to be true, it's probably is. And I don't want to minimize, discredit these people like Domestica and all this, because everyone's path is going to be different from the next person's. When I was training tattoo artists, I used to tell them, the last person I trained is going to be different from you, because everyone learns in a different sort of rhythm and a different pace, as well as a temperament of how their working skills, as well as artistic temperament, what they want to do, is going to cultivate to what makes them them. And one thing, rule number one that I've learned, is no one is going to sell your art better than you. And you will have to believe in the work that you do. You will have to virtually fake it till you make it, in a sense, and virtually ask yourself, what do you want to say on the canvas, on the paper, through the tools that you utilize? How do you convey your world? What's the story? I'm not saying, what's the VH1 behind the bullshit, music, video, whatever, but essentially, what's going to set you apart from the rest of the people and their eyes of how they see the world? I wish I was one of these artists that could be happy painting, seascapes and mountains, and, like Ansel Adams taking pictures of mountains. And I think those things are great, but they're not me. They're not indicative of my world, how I was raised, virtually my environment. And the job of an artist is to observe the world around you, how you convey that message of the world around you. Because you want to make people understand or see a perspective that they might miss. There's a visual language that you're displaying. So therefore, you have to virtually bare your soul, in a sense, to virtually put things out there and release it, and let people poke at it with judgmental sticks. But essentially, what is going to set you apart from everyone else? The art market is pretty saturated as it is, because if I'm honest, most galleries turn a profit around the fourth or fifth year. And I kind of take umbrage with all these things on social media. Hey, learn to draw like me. Hey, take this class, and blah, 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 and yada yada yada. And all that stuff looks great on a greeting card, but to me, yes, it's artwork, but is it art? And 10% of people only make money doing art, actual art. And from that, only a higher echelon of people virtually make, like, where the real money is. I do okay. I've had really, really good years, and fucking years where I've been like, I couldn't fucking get arrested to give the shit away. And but I've rather than different money streams, I had my tattoo shop and virtually corporate gigs that virtually kind of but it was a whole evolution of things that I studied as an illustrator to, like, draw before I started painting this stuff, but everything I did was by hands. And that is one of the rules that I make, is everything that I make has to be made by my own hands. I don't have a team of assistants and things like that. I had an assistant that helped me with my shop and my work, but I don't have like people helping me make my stuff for me. It's just me. And essentially, what I want to convey to the artist is that your trajectory will be different from everyone else's. However, it is the same goal and the path of to virtually what do you want to say within your work. You will have to invest in yourself, and you will have to treat this like a job. Yes, if you want to have it as a hobby and paint mountains and stuff, that's great. But if you want to make this your career, you will have to treat it like a job, because there are days where it'll feel very much like a job. And there are days where, it feels like a fucking job, because I'm chasing invoices. I'm trying to right now try to get some artwork from someone I gave to a gallery that the guy has just done an up and runner. And these are the pitfalls that happens. But YouTube and Instagram never talk about these type of things, that, the flip side of the coin. They just want to show, oh, here's me walking through the park, and oh, look at me painting in Venice, and I'm an artist now. And but it's a business, and it's all encompassing. And if you're going to make this your career, you have to virtually baptism by fire. But eventually, you will have to treat this like work, because it will be work. There'll be days where it'll be very easy, and there'll be times when a painting will just fall into place, and others where it's like that fucking piece, why not it, and then it goes. And if that happens, put the work aside, get a new piece of paper out, or a new canvas, a new panel, and work until you've your last 2 hours or whatever, and change up your eyes. Take the piece back. Sometimes I've pulled a piece out within my studio a year later, and I forgot about it. I'm like, not so bad. But and that's another flip side of things. The artists are notorious hoarders, and over the years I've had studio after studio, and the pitfall is that with studios, especially within London, they're always snapped up to turn into luxury flats. That sucks, but it's the nature of the beast within properties within metropolis cities. Here I'm in my parents' home, and I've turned one of their spare bedrooms into an artist studio while I'm helping them, looking after them. But right now I'm trying to curate a show in London for Pride Month at the Huxley, and I'm planning a show in August here in Los Angeles, my first one in 27 years. But it is work, so you will have to treat your job, your career, and your art like a job. One thing that Harlan and Ben mentioned to me was that one was really terrible at marketing themselves, and the other was trying to find his footing and for having me look at his pieces and see what I thought. And they both have very keen natural talents. I can see where they're going. And, art is subjective to public opinion, and that's the thing that sucks about it, because not everyone's going to get what you do. However, you have to believe in what you do and what you put out, and no one can sell that better than you, and explaining it. So what do you want to say within your voice, and where do you want to take that in 5 to 10 years time from now? Because essentially, if you're going to make this your career and your path, your trajectory, you are going to essentially evolve and get better at your craft. And how you convey your visual messages is essential. Because when collectors are buyers, or when you're putting out on social media, they want to know the story. Recently I put a story out about me having a drug relapse, and I had a group show to do for Hunter S. Thompson's for my primary dealer, and I was going through a really bad time where a trademark dispute for a lawsuit. My marriage was crumbling, and I decided to have a drug relapse and rival the drug taking of Hunter S. Thompson, where I was pretty much high every day for 3 years. I'm not high now. The marriage is gone, and I'm much better. And I'm not saying go out and get a drug habit or anything like that. No. But essentially, I had to put myself into this work, higher or not. And inspiration comes to everybody in different ways, different paths. And Elizabeth Gilbert, the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, has this YouTube TED Talk. If you can watch it. It talks about the creative, elusive genius and how artists, poets get their inspiration and at the times they come. And sometimes, your stroke of genius can come early on, and then, but you have to do the dance. You have to keep working. It's not like Picasso just did 3 paintings, Andy Warhol did 10 and then left. That's it. No, we still have to do the work in order to virtually cultivate a body of work that virtually stems. So essentially, my thing is that all my work is when I see it in a visual of like a retrospective years down. And you will have to invest in your work and in yourself, in your tools, the products you use. You don't have to break the bank, but I would say if you can, invest in yourself and treat this like a job. Essentially, you don't have to go buy the most expensive stuff, but if you could buy quality archival things like 3 primaries, a good binder, a flow retarder, or these things to help and mix with the low end stuff to like make your product go a lot further. That will help you and virtually learn how to use and virtually become more familiar with the products that you are using, which is essential. Another thing, do not cold call galleries or send emails and just go, hey, when I had a tattoo shop, I used to get loads of emails from artists showing me their work and telling me this with all the social media links and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them had a lot of talent, but the whole thing was that get your ass and walk in, like physically. One thing about art, you can never, ever compare looking at a picture to actually standing in front of a piece of work, ever. In a gallery, this is another rule. Go outside. Go outside into the physical world, not the digital world, the physical world. Go outside, meet people. Meet your fellow tribe of artists, other galleries, see what's out there. See, does this space work and conducive to the other artists within your words? Will it mesh? With other artists, you might find that you can find a collection of artists that do similar stuff to you, or you could do group shows. You will probably start doing a lot of group shows to essentially build up your name and your presence around that art community. I've done that with several artists in London. I'm trying to do that again here in Los Angeles. It's a little more daunting that I'm a little older now, but when I was in London, I still have those artists that I hold as very dear friends, and we've done many, many shows together. But essentially, to go out into the physical world, find your tribe and see what's out there. Do not follow trends, because essentially you want to stand apart from everyone else. One of the rules that I always tell artists when I would train them for tattooing is when they're trying to develop their repertoire is to, when you're trying to find your footing, make a sharp left or sharp right, because your journey with a piece of work is always going to have this tension of trying to understand, is this working? Am I doing the right thing? And when you make a sharp left or a sharp right, you might find that you have a happy accident to where you like this, and that's where your stroke of genius goes, oh, this is great, like I'm building on something. Allow yourself time, allow yourself to make mistakes, because that is what's going to make you. Which comes to another thing, it's okay to make mistakes. And I tell everyone I've tutored with arts, and I'm telling Ben and Harlan, it's okay to make mistakes. The mark of a good artist is learn how to cover up your mistakes. camouflage them, make them a happy accident, but virtually the flaws are acceptable within the artist, because in some ways we are quite flawed. Well, everyone I think is quite flawed, but in what you're trying to do is purge out something from your soul, or how you see things. And virtually not everything is going to come to plan. So, that is all right. Again, back to the rule of thumb, success is built on the pillars of mistakes. So it's okay to make mistakes. Go out to the physical world. Go out. It's okay to say on social media, "Hi, look at me." It's okay for clicks and likes, but the whole thing is that sometimes I drag my ass out to the physical world. I go to auction houses. I like going to auction houses to see what other people buy, what other people are trying to flip. Because some of the stuff is really, really cool. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want to see trends, but I get the feeling of what people buy. And essentially, I've always looked at things like inanimate objects and see them in different ways. But it's always interesting to see what is out there. And again, because the art market and the art world is so saturated, and colleges are cranking out artists and stuff, and everyone wants to be an artist, the stroke of genius. And it's so hard, because the longer you're at it, you are going to collect a lot of stuff. And if you're not selling it, and you're not virtually, having the means to virtually house it, galleries, they take on a lot of artists. They pay for storage, security, all these other overheads, and it is a costly job. And YouTubers are going out to the rivers and just "Hi, I'm an artist. Look at me, I'm painting." And great, yes, you created a piece of art, but in the physical world, they don't have an artist statement. They don't have a CV. Some of them barely have Instagram, and it's just about maybe 20, 30, 40 pictures of themselves looking at a box frame or whatever, and it's all articulated to look like that. But yet, come back to me in 15, 20 years if you're still doing this. And again, nothing worth having is easily gained. So if you're going to make this your career and your path, God damn it, just bang it out, and put your balls on the chopping block. You're going to have to do the work and really struggle with everything that every other artist has to deal with. That is a fact, and there's no 100,000 pounds is going to do that. You could have good seasons, you could have, great pieces, and when you look at the art market as a whole, maybe 10% of successful art or artists virtually within that are making loads. But I read an article where a catalog of I think it was Jay Joplin, the White Cube or whatever, but he had loads of Damien Hirst stuff that hadn't sold, and but that is a different money bracket. Whereas I would say start low, start where it's your price margin is where you can buy and build on it, because you essentially want to keep going at a point to where you could make this your career. A lot of graduate artists who go into galleries can go up this way and then down again, and if the buyer wants to flip it in say 10 or 20 years time, they'll be lucky if they get maybe a sixth of what they paid for it. And if the artist isn't making any work, well, galleries work as ateliers in the sense of their gatekeepers going, we believe this is worth this because we say so. So within this, to review, okay. If you want to take some courses or virtually learn techniques, that's really great. And the more information, knowledge is power, especially with the products that you use, how to use them. Virtually, you need to learn the basics and the master skills of the elements of what makes of work archival. If you're going to cut corners, I have tried to do that in the past, and some of my deals like, oh, no, come on. And I'm like, and it was down to just budget, because I was just like, especially something like framing. Put it this way, excuse me, half the price of your artwork is going to be what it costs for a frame. That's for like a professional framers. But, if you're going to the pound store and like, yeah, presentation is fine or whatever. But presentation, another thing, is paramount. And how you present your work, how you put yourself out there is crucial to that, because that'll be part of your calling card, your work, your effort, your professionalism, and how you approach your career. I always told my tattoo artists, do you want a job as a tattoo artist, or do you want a career as a tattoo artist? Because they're completely two different things. It's kind of like the same with like a barber. You could be a barber, or you could be a hairstylist, or a platform artist, and the trajectory shifts by what avenue you want to take. And that's a question you have to sit with yourself time and time again and ask yourself. The frustration of looking at a piece and going, am I doing it right? Like, when I looked at Ben's work, I could see that he had an astute eye for color, and virtually composition, and virtually just honing something. I don't like these things where kids are like roasting younger people's work. It's just kind of like, really, for content. This is why I should, if I roasted some of these YouTubers, fucking God help them, because I'm like, hold me back. But the whole thing is, you should just do you and be yourself on purpose. You're not going to be right. You're not going to be wrong. You're going to be correct. You're going to be genuine. And especially right now when everyone's like, oh, I want authenticity. Just do what you do. And again, you won't go wrong in expressing how you see your world and what you know. You draw and paint what you know and feel. And especially, you don't necessarily have to have a large, realistic drawing skill. But if the work is conveyed that you feel something, it's going to come out in that work. And the curator, director, or the buyer is going to see this. Not everyone's going to like it, but those are the people that when you finally see them, they're going to be like, ah. And, you will start to try to build a working relationship with some of these people that virtually will keep you going. One of the final things I would probably say is, and I have a hard time doing it because I'm kind of a hothead, be nice. Sounds odd coming from me. Just be nice, because if I've had a few in me, and I will let people know what I really think about some of the work on. Like, I'm like Matt Gleason. Most art sucks because it's just like, and I'm with one particular gallery where the guy is always banging on about his work, and he blatantly rips off a load of people without ever actually kind of paying homage to the artists that he rips off. And I will name check the artists that inspire me. But it's all about him. And, and there's blood on my teeth because I don't say anything. But just be nice. With a director or someone, they take a chance on you and you're honest and genuine, they will help you. They will, say this, because this is going to be something you're going to stick with forever if you're very, very serious about it. It's not something you do for a couple of years and like, I'll just move on to the next thing. When I was a kid, I used to think that it would be lovely to be an artist and just paint, and people would love my working. And but I didn't really think of the reality of what it would be like, and over time, I've had to roll with it. I love what I do, and you should love what you do. But ultimately, if you find your tribe, you're going to find your voice. And don't stop believing in what you do. Most importantly, do not stop believing in what you do. Don't give up. keep doing at it. You don't have to go make a 30-foot wall painting or whatever, and don't measure someone else's success to your own, or where as a guide, a ruler of where you feel you should be, because your journey might be later or whichever, but if you keep going, it'll happen. So in this little video, to review, draw what you know. Allow yourself to change and evolve. Your work will progress and change, and you might go, like I said, a sharp left, sharp right, but your artistic journey is a journey, and your voice will change and you will mature, your opinions will shift, whatever, but that's what life is. It happens in between your plans. So allow that to flourish and happen. You're not going to stay stagnant, or will your artistic vision. Ask yourself, where do you want you to see your artwork in 5 to 10 years? If you're going to make this your career or your job, be honest with yourself about it. Be realistic. Don't go spending loads of money, blah, 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 blah. Be smart about it. Treat it like a job. Treat it like a business. Schedule time for you to actually sit down and work. If your eyes, or you feel frustrated with a piece, that like, put it away, start on something new within that allocated time for the day. Don't stop and just like, I'm lazy by nature, but I have to like kick myself in the butt and go, come on, get off your ass, go. So just do the work. Give your eyes a break, fresh eyes. Or one other thing you're going to need is have a tougher skin to when you hear a comment or remark about the work you're showing someone that you might go, oh, and I get it. You have to allow room for your artistic temperament and ego to be bruised a bit. But again, you'll get used to those comments because you're giving something out into the world that is for public consumption and opinion. So just try to like take a deep breath, step back. That's just what they think. That's not the collector, that's not the buyer, that's not your audience. The ones that do, they go, okay. Those are the ones you're looking for, and little by little you will develop those people. Don't cold call galleries, and just physically go outside and go to auction houses, go out in nature, see things, take photos, try to find inspiration in things. Again, if I can mention, looking at the Elizabeth Gilbert, the elusive creative genius, the daemons and stuff, very, very, very inspiring to look at. Find your tribe of artists, find your group. Group shows is nothing bad. It's okay to put stuff on Etsy, eBay, whatever, but then reach out physically to other artists to say, hey, there are some friendly artists. I will talk to anyone who virtually sends me a comment or a message or an email, and I'll respond. It may take a couple of days, but I will respond in kind and give my honest opinion. And it's not to be mean or anything, but I like to see what's out there and what keeps art going, especially right now since we've had this global pandemic. Every time there's a massive thing that happens as a seismic shift within our world, culture changes. So this is the time to really look at what's happening in the world and draw some inspiration from that. So find your artistic tribes and dive headfirst in. Be yourself on purpose. Be yourself on purpose. I can't say it enough. Be yourself on purpose. If you look at someone like Louise Bourgeois, where she was she was quite elderly before she got world recognition, and as well as Yayoi Kusama, where now she's virtually garnering this acclaim, and from the 60s and 70s she ruined a lot of her work. Andy Warhol, for the first 10 years of his career, trying to merge from a commercial artist to a fine artist, was very difficult, where he had plenty of shows in coffee shops where he sold nothing. So again, it goes back to the whole thing of success is built on the pillars of failure. And the whole thing of the running course through all of this is these people didn't give up. I'm not giving up. Even with me here in the middle of fucking suburban Corona and half my shit in storage in London, and I'm looking after 2 elderly people from time going back and forth. That's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do. And you know, I'm not one of these, you know, super. I don't want to call it toxic positivity, but like this overzealous kind of happy. You know, I'm just happy. It can be happy at times, but I'm 54, and you know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just sitting in this room talking to myself, to you guys, and just like, you know, I've had really high highs and low lows, but one thing, I just kept at it, even through bankruptcy, trademark disputes, and divorce, being institutionalized, or as I say in the UK, section. I keep doing it. And at one point, I was in a Homerton hospital, the mental ward, and I had to do a show with Mark Illuminati, who I'm doing a show with this June, where I virtually was texting my assistant from the mental ward to ship my stuff to this gallery for a show. And the doctor was like, I've never seen anyone do something like this before. But it's like, the whole thing is, you have to keep going. Don't give up. Believe in your work. Believe in yourself. Know that you can get better if you want to get better. Your knowledge and your broaden your scope will broaden you'll get better at your craft. You will actually have that collective sigh when the painting's released and go, I did what I needed to do. You know, if you're going to chase money and the likes and fame and all that, you know, there are trapdoors and all of that. And, you know, everyone wants to be liked and everyone wants a certain bit of acclaim, but that, for me, that's not the end all be all result of why I do what I do. And one of the things that I'm hoping that with these dog and pony videos is that people kind of see a different perspective from another artist. That's just like, look, I've been doing this for a while, and this is my hat in the ring coin. This is my experience of how I've gone about it. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. And for Ben and Harlan, you know, I love what you guys do. I think you guys are very, very cool. And, you know, thanks for reaching out. And to all of you who watch this video, just make some fucking cool work. And, you know, believe in yourselves. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell for more updates. And if you guys have any questions of what you'd like to see, any of my things, I want to do a thing where I go to show you some of my earlier works from old journals, and I will roast myself, and I can show you that. But if you guys let me know what you'd like to see, let me know in the comment section, and I will get back to you guys. All right, take care, fly low and avoid the radar.